All right. Good evening. My name is Rob Cagnetta, and this is a meeting of the South Kingstown, Rhode Island Zoning Board of Review. Members present tonight are Thomas Daniels, our Vice Chairman, William Rosen, Arlene Hicks, and that's it. Also present are Amy Goins, as South Kingstown Special Legal Counsel, Jamie Gorman, as South Kingstown Building and Zoning Official, and Ben Barbera, our Administrative Support Associate. The board is made up of 8 people with 5 regular voting members. A minimum of 4 must be present to vote. In the event that regular members are not present or recused, an alternate will step in. No more than 5 members are entitled to a vote, and at least 3 voting members are needed to grant the requested relief. Tonight, the voting members will be myself, Mr. Daniels, Mr. Rosen, and Ms. Hicks. The applicants are here for either a dimensional or use variance or a special use permit. The board is a quasi-judicial body created by the South Kingstown Ordinance pursuant to state statutes. We don't follow strict rules of evidence, and we operate in what we believe to be in a fair and equitable manner. We try to let everyone speak, unless you get carried away or it's deemed not relevant. So for the interest of time, please be brief and on point. We do our best not to argue and to keep things civil, and we try to hear the last petition before 10 o'clock. After we introduce your petition, please step up to the microphone and the podium and adjust it as necessary. You want it pretty close to your mouth. And you have to make sure the red button is on. But after you're done speaking, turn off the red button. It's the person with the little speaker, the sound thing coming off of it, because we'll have feedback if you don't. So clearly state and spell your name for the record. You will then be asked to take an oath to tell the truth. After that, you can present your petition with any witnesses to testify in support of your application. The board will then ask you or your witnesses questions. After the petitioner has presented their testimony, anyone with questions in support of or opposition to the petition can step forward up to the microphone. Again, you will identify yourself, be sworn in, and present your testimony with follow-up questions from the board. Please do not direct any questions or comments to the petitioner or any other witnesses. Just ask us, and we can sort of follow up and ask the petitioner and so forth after the comment period. So after hearing all the testimony, board members will discuss the application and the evidence presented. We're going to ask a lot of questions, and there's a good reason. We cannot just grant anything we choose. There are rules to follow per the South Kingstown Ordinance. So you must give testimony to support certain facts to allow your request to be approved. So tonight we have dimensional variances, and we do just dimensional variances, right? No special use? Right. Oh, please so. So for a dimensional variance, you must present the evidence that your hardship is due to the unique characteristics of the subject land or the structure, but is not due to the general characteristics of the surrounding area. And that the hardship is not a result of any prior action on your part, and that granting the variance will not alter the general character of the surrounding area, and that your hardship by the denial of the variance will amount to more than a mere inconvenience. And we can help you guys for all this stuff. And with the last one, that means that the relief sought is minimal to reasonably enjoy the permitted use of your property. And also so you know, all the material that you did submit to the town will be entered into the record, so you don't necessarily have to make sure that it's part of the presentation, but we will certainly ask you about the contents of it. So tonight, things are going to be switched up a lot on here. We have a couple continuations, but in particular, there is one petition for Mr. Daniel Sharland of 124 Robinson Street. Mr. Sharland is my neighbor, so I have to recuse myself, which then prevents us from having the quorum of 4 people. So, unfortunately, Mr. Sharland, we do have to continue to next month. And I apologize. I know you guys wanted to get started. Do I need to have him come up for it, or we just continue, vote to continue?
We can continue, and you can vote on the continuance. You're going to be recusing anyway.
So for the petition of Mr. Charland of 124 Robinson Street, we are going to continue this until the next meeting, which is, what's the date? So November 19th, 2025. And if anybody is here for that petition, you will not be notified of it. It's just going to be on the agenda for next month, but there won't be any other notifications sent out through the mail. So sorry, guys. So we'll continue that to November 19th. Can I get a second? Second. I guess I made the motion for the continuance. Second by Mr. Daniels. Any discussion? Hearing none. Mr. Cagnetta, aye. Mr. Daniels? Aye. Ms. Hicks?
Aye.
Mr. Rosen?
Aye.
Motion passes, so we'll see you guys next month. So, sorry about that. And then next we have a continuation for the petition of Milton Rogers. This was sent in, is that today? Yesterday? Today? So this is from Chance Ruttenberg and Freeman, the attorneys representing the applicant. So they are requesting a continuance for the matter referenced above for the October 15th meeting, which is tonight, to the next available zoning board meeting on November 19th. So since the filing of the appeal in accordance with the decision on June 25th, 2025, the applicant has engaged our office to assist with the potential appeal set before the zoning board. As you're aware, our office has been in conversation with the building department and plans to work cooperatively with the town to resolve this matter and hopefully without a need for further proceedings. So they would ask for a continuance. Mr. Gorman. So is this something that can be resolved with your office, or is this something that will need to come to us?
So I think it depends. I requested a number of documents and information which might allow me to rescind the notice of violation, but I just received them today, until I review those and make a determination, it may come before you at next month's meeting. I just can't say until I review those.
Or it'll be just withdrawn on the next agenda? Or not even mentioned on the next agenda if it doesn't have to be, right?
I don't think the board would have to vote on it if it's rescinded and withdrawn.
Okay. Okay, so we won't know until next meeting as to which direction they're going to go. So we still have to vote for continuing this?
Yes, to November 19th, please.
Okay. Do you guys have any thoughts on this? Does anybody want to see? No? Okay, so I'll make the motion to approve the continuance till November 19th for the matter of Milton Rogers. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Hicks. Any other discussion? Hearing none. Mr. Cagnetta, aye. Ms. Hicks? Aye. Mr. Daniels? Aye. Mr. Rosen?
Aye.
Okay. Motion passes. We'll do that next month. And then the other is the petition of Henry Cabrera. Is anyone here for that? Okay. They put the wrong one aside. So this is it's a Lavender Waves Farm, and this was again sent today. Please accept my apology for not being able to appear in person this evening. This letter is to request to continue our appeal of the above captioned notice of zoning ordinance violation to the November 19th, 2025. Mr. Gorman, did you have a chance to speak with them or anyone today, or was it just a letter?
Just the letter, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
I spoke with attorney Steve Angel, and he indicated part of the reason for delay was the need to verify the correct abutters list because there's been recent changes in ownership, so notice needs to be sent out to the abutters of the subject property, but he anticipates being able to do that in time for next month's meeting.
Okay, so if we're even in appeal, you have to notify the abutters as well?
Correct.
Okay. And when was the violation sent?
I believe it was in June or July of this. And it was scheduled first for August 27th, and then continued, requested continuation to October 15th, here tonight.
Okay. I know I have thoughts. You guys have any thoughts on this?
Well,
Mr. Daniels, just turn on your...
thank you, Mr. Chairman. Only that it would seem that we should have something on the record from the applicant besides the fact that there's a new owner. It sounds to me like that's just happened. It seems to me we should have something from the owner as to why he feels he needs a continuation. I mean, this is a violation that's been pending by the building official, and I think it deserves some action on our part. So I have some concern that we have nothing on the record from the owner other than he wants a continuation. But
And there's really nothing else for this board or Mr. Gorman you could do relative to this, right?
Correct. An appeal stays enforcement. I think it's important that the board give the property owner a fair hearing, and obviously we can't do that without him and his legal representation being here. So my recommendation would be to allow the continuance for another month, and I'll be in contact with Attorney Angel, and I'll let him know that the board's going to want some information on the reason for the continuance. I know there was some scheduling issues with the attorney over the summer, but you can make those inquiries when they appear before you for the hearing.
Okay. I mean, because they had since August, or before August, they had since July, late July, to send the letters. I know I'm arguing with you. That doesn't help. Okay. So it seems like our only option is to continue it until November 19th. So again, I'll make the motion to continue the petition or the violation of Mr. Cabrera until November 19th, 2025. Can I get a second? Second by Mr. Rosen. Any other discussion? Okay, Mr. Cagnetta, aye. Mr. Rosen? Aye. Mr. Daniels? Aye. Ms. Hicks?
Aye.
Okay, that's continued. Do we have an answer for the 32, or for the 232 Willard yet? If we don't know what they want to do yet? Because you mentioned they might want to continue.
I believe the attorney representing the application is here. He may be in the hallway, but
Okay.
maybe if we can just move on to the next petition.
It's fine with me. We can do that. All right, so next we have the petition of David Ullman and Kathy Curley of 185 Robinson Street. Do you want to give them a chance to do this now? Okay. Is anybody here for the Willard Street?
There are a number of butters that I have in that room having a conversation with, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, and please state your name, please.
Attorney Steven Sertit, attorney for the Willard Street application. There are a number of abutters that I'm having a conversation with right now.
Okay.
To see if we can work through some of the issues and if we can resolve some of their concerns and doing those things. So that's why I wasn't here. I apologize.
That's okay.
Mr. Chairman, I lost a little track of time. So I'd request to move it to your next zoning board meeting so I can continue my conversation with the abutters and try to work through some of their concerns.
No, it's fine. I just wanted to make sure that everybody knew we can get you guys out of here. You were last, but we'll throw you up. All right.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, okay. Not a problem. Any questions for the attorney? From anyone? And I'm sorry, what was your last name again?
Steven Surdut.
Stevens.
S-U-R-D-U-T.
For the abutters in the room, the applicant has requested, no, press the button. Yeah. The applicant has requested a continuance of the public hearing so that the attorney can speak with you folks and see if anything can be worked out before the zoning board hears the application. So the zoning board typically doesn't take public comment when an application is going to be continued, but when they come back next month, absolutely, the public hearing will be open and everyone will get a chance to comment.
And it won't be notified, like there won't be notifications sent out. Just put on your calendar that November 19th, which is, again, a Wednesday. Well, apparently you'll be at least third on the application, or on the agenda.
That's fine, Mr. Chairman, thank you.
Okay, great. In light of the news, we're going to have the petition of 232 Willard Avenue, Sarah Isabella, to be continued to November 19th, 2025. And I will make that motion to extend it till then. Can I get a second? Second by Mr. Rosen. Any other discussion? Hearing none. Mr. Cagnetta, aye. Mr. Rosen? Aye. Mr. Daniels? Aye. Ms. Hicks?
Aye.
All right, we'll see them on November, and everyone else November 19th. So, all right. Oh, you guys are helping us get out of here earlier. All right, so next we have the petition of David Ullman and Kathy Curley of 185 Rodman Street of Wakefield, Rhode Island, 02879 for a dimensional variance under the zoning ordinance as follows. The applicant is seeking to construct an accessory dwelling unit, an ADU, measuring 19 feet in height. The maximum accessory building height is 15 feet, therefore a 4 feet relief is requested. The ADU will be located 14.6 feet from the corner side property line. The required corner side setback is 20 feet. Therefore, a 3.4-foot relief is requested. The ADU will be located on a lot consisting of 13,885 square feet in land area. The minimum lot size to establish an ADU is 20,000 square feet. Therefore, a relief of 6,115 square feet is requested. The lot size is 0.32 acres. The dimensional variance is required per the zoning ordinance section 401, schedule of dimensional regulations, and 907 are standards of relief. The owner of the property are David Ullman and Kathy Curley of premises located at 185 Rodman Street, South Kingstown, Assessors Map 48-3, Lot 27, and is zoned R10. And who's here for that? Come on up. And just be sure to turn on the mic and state your name, please, and spell it.
David Ullman, David Ullman.
And you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Excellent. And feel free to move the microphone. Yep, go ahead. And tell us what you'd like to do.
Okay, well, as you saw, we'd like to construct an ADU on our property. We have an existing shed, which is that structure just to the left of that sort of oblong shape. That's the existing shed. We would take that down and put up a new structure in its place and extending further toward the property, so away from the road. But we'd still be within the 20-foot buffer zone, so that's why we'd need a variance. We'd like to construct an ADU that's got enough livable space without taking up too much space in the on the property. So this is why we would like to make it a short 2-story with a loft in the upstairs part. So we need roughly 19 feet of elevation to do that. The total area of the ADU floor space, including the loft, would be 452 square feet. I think that's about all I have to say, so if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
And the height is, or the design and the height, is that relative to what you have already? Like, is your building, are you going to make something similar to what your building is stylized as, or
Well,
this is sort of its own?
The existing shed is not as high as this
Right.
proposed building. The existing shed is about 12 or 13 feet high.
And you sort of did your best to, I mean, it looks like you're trying to keep the peaks the same and the general aesthetic the same,
Yeah.
a little bit?
Yeah. I mean, it's certainly similar to the existing house. It's not similar to the existing shed.
Right. No, yeah, that's what I mean, is
Yes.
more to the house than the shed.
Yeah.
And it's shorter than the house itself, so you try to keep the height down as much as possible?
That's correct, yes.
And is it just one bedroom upstairs?
Yeah, there's basically just going to be a loft bedroom upstairs.
Okay. Board members, questions for the applicant? Mr. Rosen, go for it.
Is the ADU going to be any closer to the Dixon Road than the present shed that's there?
No, it would
No.
be, we're going to use the same footprint, but just
Because it's,
extend inward.
yeah, it's right on the road there. I visited there, and it looks like it's right on on Dixon, pretty
Well-
close to it.
I mean, it's 14 and a half feet from
Right,
the,
but it's not
from the-
going to get any closer.
no, it's not going to get any closer, no.
Okay. The height of the building, you're asking for, that's one of the things that you're asking for. It's going to be a two-story structure. Are you planning to rent this, or is this for somebody that's in your family, or what is that?
It's not for someone
what's
in
the
our
use gonna
family.
be?
The use is going to be, we'd like to rent it out. We'd basically like to have someone living on the property so that, you know, we're getting older, we'd like to travel a little bit, we want people to be on the property to take care of pets and plants and things. We're certainly, and then, of course, you know, as we get older, possibly it could be rented to someone like a caregiver.
Okay.
But yes, we'd like to rent it out.
And you're presently living in the main belt dwelling?
Correct, yes.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
And Mr. Gorman, when we spoke earlier today, you talked about some of the conditions and rules relative to having an ADU on a property, right? Since we have so many on the agenda tonight, do you want to reiterate what those general conditions are?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. So in, I believe, summer of 2024, state law was amended to enable property owners of residential properties to establish an ADU as of right if it met one of three criteria, those being for qualifying family member, disabled family member, one, two being on a lot consisting of 20,000 square feet or more, or the third being within an existing structure or detached structure. So those would be, in this case, the property has a shortfall in the land area, and you know, certainly there could have been a case made that it was for a family member who was disabled, but that doesn't seem to fit the other criteria, so seeking the relief from the land area.
And you did mention something that I wasn't aware of about renting it, like the period of rental.
So even though our ordinance isn't amended to reflect this, you know, the state law reflects that no ADU is allowed to be rented for short-term rental, so that's under 30 days. So, I mean, certainly there would be a violation if somebody was to list it on Airbnb or VRBO if it were an ADU under the new law.
So, and that's more for the benefit of the general community to hear that, and I'm sure you've learned that in your investigations of
Yeah,
doing
I
this.
mean, we have no desire to rent it out as an Airbnb or anything like that.
And Mr. Gorman, does it require the homeowner to be living there? No, right? They can rent out both separately, right?
The only prong of the three ways to establish an ADU that does require owner-occupied is the family member with disabilities. But if the disabled family member moves out or passes away, the ADU that's been established can't be rescinded by the town. So once an ADU is established, it's established no matter how it got there. But, right, the lot area pathway doesn't require it to be owner-occupied.
So this is more for my benefit, or our benefit, to make sure that we sort of understand what, you know, so we can ask the right questions of anyone who's applying, so. Okay, any other questions? Mr. Daniels, you had some questions?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yep. Just reviewing the the three criteria that became effective in June of 2024, the applicant doesn't meet any of those. I understand that a rental beyond 30 days is allowed, but one of the rights allowed was that the owner-occupied property would be for reasonable accommodation for family members. That's number one. Number two, and of more concern to me anyway, is the 20,000 square foot requirement for an ADU. You're asking for about a 50% reduction in order to establish this ADU. And I think the town has, in concert with state law, has made it clear that we don't want to extend ADUs to lots that small. 20,000 is the minimum, and you're asking for a 50% reduction on that. And I think do you live there full time?
Yes.
Okay. So I think that's, to me, that's almost creating a situation where it's non-conforming, and I have an issue with that.
More of like creating a density, like, so if everybody in the neighborhood were to do that, we'd end up
Right.
having a density that is.
Mr. Chairman, I realize that what we decide here is not a precedent going forward, but I think it does set that, hey, the zoning board, I've got 13,000 square feet, I want to put an ADU, they already let somebody, let me come and make my case and talk about why they did that. And I think that's not what the ordinance intends. It's 20,000 square feet for an ADU, and we don't have testimony that this is for a relative. It's a rental. We don't have strong testimony that someone needs an accommodation. And my first thought here is I can't approve it.
You're understanding where he's kind of coming from, right? Do you have any
Yes,
thoughts?
I do. I mean, I will note, though, that at least in our neighborhood, there aren't many, if any, properties that are that big.
Right.
So,
Saying that your
and-
property is pretty unique, that there aren't many
no, I was saying
substandard.
our property is similar to many properties in the area. It's not an area, it's an R10 area, so I think that's generally smaller lots. The other thing is, the town needs housing, and, not like we're going to solve the housing problem on our own, but it's a step.
Understood. Okay. Ms. Hicks, do you have any questions of the applicant at this time? Okay. All right, do you want to add anything else for now? We'll see if anybody else is out there, and then we'll have our discussions.
No, I think I'm good.
Okay, great. Thank you. And if there's any questions, we'll have you come back up. Is there anyone out there for this petition? Come on up. Either one. Both. Good evening. Just state your name and spell it, please.
Rachel Moreski. The last name is Moreschi.
All right, great. And you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but truth?
I do.
Excellent. So what would you like to say?
So I am their next door neighbor, 58 Dixon Street. And I just wanted to speak in approval of the ADU proposal. I reviewed the plans. I think it looks very nice. I agree that there is desperate need for housing in the area, and I think that they shouldn't be penalized. They don't have children, so it wouldn't, they don't have a relative that would come in. I don't think they should be penalized because they don't have a family member that could live there. And in my personal opinion, I just don't see a reason why it shouldn't be approved. I do understand that you're concerned about that, but as their next door neighbor, I just wanted to give my vote for it.
No, that's really valuable. I think, it seems like your lot is pretty similar, if not a little bit smaller, maybe?
Yeah, yep.
And your concerns about it sort of intensifying the density of the neighborhood or anything like that? You're not necessarily concerned about that?
No, it's a very quiet street. Their shed it's not going to be that much larger than the shed, and like they said, it's just a loft bedroom upstairs. I'm not concerned in any way about increasing the density.
Oh, sorry. I'll actually probably ask Mr. Ullman again. Does anybody parking on the street? Do you guys have plenty of parking off-street on your property?
We have a sizable driveway for about 4 cars. There's pretty much, occasionally I'll see people coming for a party who will park, but nothing regular on the street, no.
So there's no real obstructions, everybody can move freely
Yeah.
and so forth?
Yep.
Okay.
And it's a very nice, quiet street, and I don't think this would do anything negative.
Excellent, thank you. And hang on one sec, any questions yep, go ahead.
One question. Are you a neighbor on the Rodman Street side or the Dixon Street side?
Dixon Street.
Okay,
Yep.
because I was just wondering how this structure would impact your property. If you're on the Rodman Street side, you might never see it.
But
you're
yeah,
on the Dixon.
I really like the design.
And you're right next door.
I am right next door.
Okay.
Yep. I really enjoy the design. Their house is beautiful as it is, and that the ADU proposal is, I just think it's lovely. I don't expect any negative impact, and I'm ready for construction noise. It's going to be fine.
Excellent. Any other questions, board members? No? Thank you very much, appreciate it. Did you want to come up as well? So again, just please state and spell your name.
Maddie, and last name is Sachs, S-A-C-H-S.
And you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Excellent. So tell us what you'd like to say.
I've been living on the 58 Dixon Street property with the Moreski family for the last 4 years. Kathy and her husband have been nothing but kind, and I think that since, like Rachel said, that they don't have children of their own or family members of their own, they shouldn't be penalized for that. And I also believe that having ADUs increases the sense of community in South County, and not only does it increase housing, but it just boosts that sense of togetherness. And I think that, in a world where everyone is so disconnected these days with their phones and social media and just a lot of different generational outlooks on life, I think that it's nice to kind of have that sense of community to bring people together and not divide people.
Sure, absolutely. We can all use that. Okay, board members, any questions for Ms. Sachs? Mr. Rosen? I see you debating.
You said you live with Ms. Moraski, is that correct?
I do, yes.
Yeah. What's your last name again?
Sachs, S-A-C-H-S.
Okay. Sachs, okay. Thank you.
Is that it? Okay.
Oops, sorry. Anything else you want to add?
No, that's it.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Anyone else out there want to speak on behalf? Nope.
I have a question.
Sure, for Mr. Ullman?
No, for
Oh.
Amy. Where did this 20,000 square feet?
That's the floor that the state law sets in terms of what cities and towns, where cities and towns have to allow ADUs. So there's no zoning relief required if you're proposing an ADU for a family member with disabilities. This isn't that. And there's no relief required if you're proposing to turn, say, a basement into an ADU or an existing garage. Where you want to expand a footprint or build a new structure, the state says you need at least 20,000 square feet. But that doesn't mean someone can't ask, as this applicant is doing, for dimensional relief. We haven't adopted this in our ordinance yet because we're a little bit behind on catching up with incorporating all the the new round of state laws every year in our ordinance, but this board has, I believe you've considered a couple, if not a handful of applications like this. So you evaluate each one on its own merits. As you know, you consider what's unique about the property, what's there now, and the neighborhood. So the fact that you grant relief for one application of this type doesn't mean you have to grant them all, and similarly, if you deny one, it doesn't mean all of these type of applications will be denied. They're each considered on their own merits, but that's where the 20,000 square feet comes from. It's a state rule, so we are allowing relief from that rule by a variance.
One other question. You said there are 3 prongs to this thing. If you meet one,
Correct. You can, a property owner can establish an ADU by either one of the 3 prongs: the disabled family member pathway, the 20,000 square foot minimum lot size pathway, or the ADU in an existing structure pathway. I think a lot of municipal zoning boards are seeing applications of this exact type. Someone wants to build a new structure, they don't have quite enough lot area, so they're going to the zoning board in their city or town for relief from that requirement.
yeah, so, okay, thank you.
And to further, usually with dimensional, we're not asking about parking and things like that.
Parking is governed by state law. The state says we can't require more than 1 off-street parking space per ADU. As long, I think, and there may be a bedroom size limitation on that, but the state law sets, the pathways that an ADU can be established. It sets certain rules, like no short-term rental, and the law also constrains our authority to regulate it. And one of those constraints is we can't require more than 1 parking space be provided.
So let's say a street doesn't allow street parking. Are we allowed to ask if the property can house an additional vehicle?
Yes, and it is 1 off-street parking space per bedroom. So for a 1-bedroom ADU, 1 space, 2-bedroom ADU, 2 spaces. If an applicant came to you asking for parking relief, that would be another potential way you could grant relief. But you can certainly ask and look at the site plan and just verify that provision has been made for parking on site.
So if we visit a site and we see that there's just no place for someone to park, can we deny it based on the fact that it can't account for an additional vehicle?
That, I think, is typically something that Jamie looks at when his office intakes these zoning applications, because as you know, we always try to make sure that an application comes before you with all the relief it needs advertised. So and usually if someone doesn't indicate something like that on the application, the applicant will be consulted to let them know that they need more relief than they asked for.
So I wouldn't need to ask in this case if he has the parking.
You can certainly ask to verify it.
Okay, but it would be something that would be reviewed by you, Mr. Gorman, that if someone is making this application, that they can they can accommodate it?
Yeah, typically, I mean, looking at the aerial that's on the viewer, I mean, I didn't review this particular application, but, with regard to parking, but the single-family dwelling is required to have 2 spaces minimum, and on top of the ADU, so 3 would be required in this case. It looks like provisions could be made if there isn't, but certainly, if it looks like some of it's spilling into the right-of-way, but, when it's an ADU on a constrained lot where there really is only maybe 2 spaces, on-street parking, I don't think it would have to be on-site, on the premises. On-street couldn't be used.
So if it's like a beach property that somebody wants to throw an extra house on, but you can't have parking on the street around those areas, then that would be something you would say it's not possible to do this, so we wouldn't allow you?
We
Or-
would tell the applicant they need to request relief from that one parking space from the zoning board if they want to establish it.
Okay. Okay. Did you want to add anything, Ms. Goins?
Well, I'll just also note, at some point, and I'll say some point within the next few months, the town council is most likely going to be considering amending the zoning ordinance to reflect these changes in the zoning code. And it may be that the town could modify the 20,000 square foot lot size requirement. They haven't done it yet because the town council hasn't been, presented with a draft. The planning board hasn't been given an advisory opinion. I will say, I know of at least one town in Rhode Island that did away with the 20,000 square foot lot size in an effort to promote housing. Obviously, that's not, in South Kingstown, we're just applying the rules in the law and advising applicants to seek relief as needed.
Okay, so Mr. Ullman, I will not ask you if you can fit another car, so. Seems like that's been covered. Okay. So, Mr. Ullman, is there anything you wanted to add to this? You don't have to. You can say no. Or if you want to come on up, just to put a bow on it.
I mean, I just wanted to mention, you may not ask, but we do have space for at least 3 cars. You can see the driveway sort of on the upper there. Yep. There's 1 car there. There's 1 car can fit to the right, and there's a trailer there that's now not there, so there's a 3rd spot there. Anyway.
Great.
One quick question.
Good, Mr. Rosen.
As you look at it, there's the structure, there's another shed in there?
Like, what's that gray box there in front of your cars?
That's the shed that
That's
would
the
come
shed.
down.
But back further in the
That-
lot, is that another shed?
That's a garage, yeah.
That's the garage,
Yeah,
okay.
okay. So the shed in front would be replaced, and it would sort of jut out to the south a little bit.
Yeah, I remember, okay.
Mr. Daniels, yeah, he said towards the lot line is the same, but he's coming towards his house more.
Okay, so it's not the same.
It's not the same footprint, no. Okay. It's a little bit bigger. Want to add anything else? You good?
I'm good for the moment, yeah.
Okay, great.
Sorry.
Nope, it's all right. All right, anyone else out there want to speak on behalf of this petition, for or against? No? All right, Ms. Hicks, how are you feeling about it? Put you on the spot.
Turn on my mic. I have the same concern as Mr. Daniels about the 20,000 square feet. But on the other hand, looking at the piece of property, what they're doing is actually replacing the shed with an ADU. So there's already that 3rd structure on their property. And so for that reason, it's fine with me. And we've heard from 2 abutters who say they have no problem, and they're really the closest to that ADU. So that's my feeling, that since the shed is already there, and it's just a replacement building, they're not adding something new.
Okay. Mr. Rosen, any thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with Ms. Hicks in everything she said. I would just add that I was there. That shed is not exactly the best-looking thing I've ever seen. And I would assume that an ADU, as described in what we have here, is going to look a heck of a lot better. And it's not going to be that much larger than the shed already is. The footprint, I assume it's only going to be about 1/3 larger in my estimation. So I'll go along with this. I think it's appropriate, and I agree that that 20,000 square foot, I would hope that the town council would really consider that and do what that other town has done, which would make our job a lot easier as such.
Thank you, Mr. Rosen. Mr. Daniels, any other thoughts?
Just reiterate my concerns, but I certainly hear the argument made by my colleagues, and I don't have anything further on it.
I mean, I agree with you, Mr. Daniels. There is a concern. I think we certainly don't want to create a density that would change the character and feeling of the area. But there also is an advantage to being first. And, you know, I think as Ms. Hicks said, that it is replacing an existing structure, so it's not necessarily going to create a visual density intensification. So I don't necessarily have an issue with this one. So, all right. So does someone want to make a motion, perhaps? You comfortable?
Okay.
Yep. Ms. Hicks?
Okay, at a meeting held today, October 15th, 2025, regarding the petition of David Ullman and Kathy Curley, 185 Rodman Street, Wakefield, the following individuals spoke, and they were David Ullman, Rachel Moreski, and Maddie Sachs. I hope I have that correct. Okay. All three spoke in support of the request, and we had no one speak in opposition to the request. So Mr. Cagnetta covered all of the materials that were entered into the record. And so the board finds that the hardship from which the applicant seeks relief is due to the unique characteristics of the subject land or structure and not to the general characteristics of the surrounding area, and is not due to a physical or economic disability of the applicant, excepting those physical disabilities addressed in 45-24-30-16 because, well, because the lot size is not, in fact, 20,000 square feet. The lot size is merely 13,885 square feet. This is the lot size that the applicants purchased, so it's nothing that they did. The board finds that the hardship is not the result of any prior action of the applicant, and again, that's the lot they purchased. The board finds that the granting of the requested variance will not alter the general character of the surrounding area or impair the intent or purpose of the zoning ordinance or the comprehensive plan upon which the ordinance is based because they are replacing one structure on their property with another, replacing a shed with an ADU. The board finds that the hardship suffered by the owner of the subject property, if the dimensional variance is not granted, amounts to more than a mere inconvenience, meaning that relief sought is minimal to a reasonable enjoyment of the permitted use to which the property is proposed to be devoted because they want to replace their shed with an ADU and then use it as a rental, and at some point perhaps use it as a caretaker residence. So we have no conditions for the approval, so I move that it be approved.
Motion was made by Ms. Hicks. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Rosen. Any other discussion? Hearing none. Ms. Hicks?
Aye.
Mr. Rosen?
Aye.
Mr. Daniels? Aye. Mr. Cagnetta? Aye. Motion passes. Good luck. Enjoy. So the next is the petition of Stephen Hearn of 114 Meadow Ave of Wakefield, Rhode Island, 02879, for a dimensional variance in the zoning ordinance as follows. The applicant is seeking to convert an existing detached garage into an ADU and construct a second-story addition resulting in a total height of 23 feet. The maximum accessory building height is 15 feet, therefore an 8-foot relief is requested. The vertical addition will be located 1.6 feet from the side property line. This required side yard setback is 6 feet, therefore a relief of 4.4 feet is requested. Lot size is 0.22 acres. This is a dimensional variance which is required per the zoning ordinance, Section 401, Schedule of Dimensional Regulations, and Section 907, the Standards of Relief. Owners of the property are Stephen and Lynn Hearn for premises located at 114 Meadow Avenue, South Kingstown, Assessors Map 57-4, Lot 148, and is zoned R10. And who is here for that? Good evening. Good. State and spell your name, please.
Steve Hearn, Hearne.
And you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Great. So tell us what you'd like to do, Mr. Hearn.
So we want to turn a standalone garage into an ADU. It's not something that we plan on renting out. It's for a family member. One of my sons recently divorced from his wife with 2 children. They live locally, but he needs to have his own home. So we're building that for them. We hope to build it for them. We're asking to get a little bit higher than we currently are. We're at that 15 feet. We want to go 23 feet so we can put a second story in, so we can have 2 bedrooms versus just the ground floor of the garage.
Okay. I used to live right down the street, so I moved really far, 2 blocks. And so I'm very familiar with the property and the garages on that road, which yours is one of them that is literally like right on the line.
Right.
The fence is probably close to it, but the property line is farther away?
Yes,
Is
a
that
little
kind of
bit.
what's happening?
Yeah.
So when you finally build this, is there going to be enough space for you to maintain the building without encroaching on your neighbor?
Of course, and I've discussed with the neighbors, made them aware that we're doing this, of course, with the letters, but also going to each of them, and we've gotten all positive feedback so far.
Sure.
But
You'll be able to conduct all the building activities and so forth
yeah,
without really
Max
impacting
Van
them?
Dexter is my contractor. He came here this evening. If you had any questions around the building process itself, we can certainly address those.
So you're going to reuse the footprint?
Exactly.
But new footings, new foundation, the whole thing?
Right.
So that everything's coming down and going back up?
Right.
All right, come on up. Since I'm asking questions now, that's going to involve you. Because this thing was listing a little bit too, right? Was that right? Or that's not yours? That's someone else's. All right, please state and spell your name for me, please.
My name is Max Van Dexter, last name Vandexter.
And you swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Excellent. So my question was, so you're going to reuse the footprint, but put in a new whole foundation?
Keep the existing foundation.
Oh, you're going to keep it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Foundation that existed, and we had the folks come out that did the inspection of the foundation was existing cement, and
Yep.
we had the certification. I think I attached it to the folder there, where they came out, inspected it, and gave a sign off on that.
Fantastic. That's even better, right? All right, and so you're confident that you'll be able to conduct the building activity without creating any issues for the neighbors and so forth?
Correct.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, board members, questions of the applicant or Mr. Van Dexter?
Just actually some clarification from the building official. It looks like they're within the 60% of the principal dwelling with the square footage of 576 on this building. Would you agree with that?
I believe that's the footprint, but the primary structure is in excess of the 1,228.
So they're okay with the 2 bedrooms, is my point?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
all right.
Okay, board members, any other questions? Ms. Hicks or Mr. Rosen, any questions? You guys want to add anything else?
No, I think I'm good.
I'm sorry, I can't make it more difficult for you, but. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. That's it. Anyone out there want to speak on behalf of this petition? Dwyer's just want to, come on up, guy. Please state and spell your name, please.
Robert Dwyer, D-W-Y-E-R.
And you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Excellent. What would you like to say, Mr. Dwyer?
Full disclosure, I lived across the street from Mr. Cagnetta, and unfortunately, I'm sorry to say I've never met Mr. Hearn, so nice to meet you. He does have the most immaculately kept house in the street, so I have no doubt that what he does decide to do would be the same. But I really was here for my own edification. I have 2 boys in college, and once I'm done scraping myself off the floor after paying for that, I too will be looking for improving a garage on my property, an existing garage, and likely housing my 2 hopefully graduated children. So that's all I have to say. Thank you for your time, and everybody sounds quite reasonable. Thank you.
Well, you're missing 2 other members. Do you guys have any questions for Mr. Dwyer? No?
No.
So you're saying you're jealous of his house? It's nice.
I have, it makes mine look good. How about that?
Well, it's scary to think that our kids are in college. So, all right, thank you, Mr. Dwyer. All right, so anyone else out there? No? Okay. Board members, any other thoughts for this? Someone want to make a motion? Nice.
The dimensional variance, correct? Okay.
Yep.
At a meeting on October 15th, 2025, zoning board considered Stephen Hearn's petition to build an ADU as a replacement for a garage, or an addition to a garage as such. At that meeting, Stephen Hearn, Max Van Dexter, and Robert Dwyer spoke in favor of the building of this ADU. There were no other individuals that spoke for or against this petition, and as a result, it seems like a straightforward petition. As such, they are asking for building a second story onto the garage. They need relief from the height of about 8 feet, and they need the side yard setback relief of 4.4 feet as well. As a result, I'm going to move approval of this petition. The board finds that the hardship from which the applicant seeks relief is due to the unique characteristics of the subject land or structure and not to the general characteristics of the surrounding area, and is not due to the physical or economic disability of the applicant, excepting those physical disabilities addressed in 452430, paren 16. Mr. Hearn presented the petition, and it seems straightforward. He wants to have a place to house some of his relatives in this ADU, and that's allowed, and so he is seeking variance relief. The board finds that the hardship is not the result of any prior action of the applicant. As a matter of fact, it seems from the testimony we received that the house that Mr. Hearn lives in and will build may be one of the stars of the neighborhood, as a matter of fact. The board finds that the granting of the requested variance will not alter the general character of the surrounding area or impair the intent or purpose of the zoning ordinance or the comprehensive plan upon which the ordinance is based. It, in the end, will probably be an improvement as turning a garage into an ADU oftentimes is an improvement in many of the properties that I've looked at over the number of years that I've been on this board. The board finds that the hardship suffered by the owner of the subject property, if the dimensional variance is not granted, amounts to, I'm losing it here, amounts to more than a mere inconvenience, and that relief sought is minimal to a reasonable enjoyment of the permitted use to which the property is proposed to be devoted, and will add to the character of the neighborhood, as I've already alluded to. And as a result, I move approval of this petition.
Thank you, Mr. Rosen. Motion is made by Mr. Rosen. Can I get a second?
Second?
A second by Ms. Hicks. Any other discussion? Hearing none. Mr. Rosen?
Aye.
Ms. Hicks?
Aye.
Mr. Daniels? Aye. Mr. Cagnetta, aye. Motion passes. Good luck. Stop embarrassing us by doing such a nice job. All right, is there anything else that we...
Can we make another announcement about the continuation? Was it the Willard Street one? The Attorney Surditz?
Yeah.
Because I saw some people come out of the conference room. I just want to make sure everyone here in the room understands that that application was
See
continued
you
to
guys.
November 19th.
You guys are aware of that? Okay. It won't be notified, so you won't be notified, but you can be here. They'll be in the first 3 petitions for the night, so show up fairly early. So, is that it?
Attendance for next month?
Is everybody going to be here next month? 4 of us? Yes? Okay, excellent.
Can I introduce our new associate?
Please, yes.
David Marks. We're happy to have him on board the team, and I'm hoping that with him on board, I may not need to ask you to move your August meeting date like I did this year. David's been making the rounds to zoning boards and other boards in the different towns we represent, and getting up to speed. He clerked for the Rhode Island Superior Court, so he's well-versed in land use matters. You may see him from time to time down here, so I just wanted to introduce him to you all.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome, Mr. Marks. We'll try to be as gentle with you as we are with everyone else. So, but we always appreciate your expertise because there's somewhat of a lack of it in our end, in my end at least. So, so thank you. Is there anything else that we need to cover?
August minutes, I
Yep.
believe.
Okay, excellent. So I have here the minutes from the previous meeting, August 27th at 7 o'clock. Any changes to it? Modifications? No? I'll make a motion to approve. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No? I wasn't here. Oh, you can't. Kenny anyway? Can you say yes anyway, just to give us 4? Or
Well,
the
we
three's
don't
enough?
need 4 for the
For the
approval of the
minutes?
minutes, so that's fine.
Yeah, but we do need to make a motion for them,
We
right?
do need a
We
motion.
need to approve them,
Yep.
okay. All right, so we can do it with the 3. All right, anything else? No? No holiday party announcements or anything yet? I mean, do we know when it's going to be or where it's going to be? Because with bated breath every year, it's the place to go. Sorry, I don't know what I drank tonight, so I apologize. All right, so motion to adjourn? All in favor? Aye.